Comparison with Justin's coffee station, which I'm really excited about. We're going to do a little live comparison of the Gaggia Classic Pro. Justin just joined us, so he's going to jump on here. Let me accept that request. So, so we're going to do a comparison of the Gaggia Classic Pro, and he has the Rancilio Silvia. So it's going to be a little quick live comparison. I think it'll be fun, though. What's going on, Justin?
How you doing? Not too much. Always good to chat.
Yeah, man. Always, always. So how's your first sips going? I know I love seeing those first sip pictures and all those beautiful lattes you're pouring.
Yeah, no, not too bad. I've been struggling the last few days, but I've really been enjoying it.
Yeah, cool.
How about yourself?
It's been good. Just playing around with the Gaggia. It's been really fun. And then I've been working on a milk steaming tutorial for the Breville. As you know, I've posted a couple of fail videos and a couple of luckily successful pours. I finally feel like I'm starting to get the hang of pouring latte art, at least a heart, I should say. And it's fun. Honestly, it's weird for me because I don't love milk-based drinks. I don't mind them, but they're not my favorite. I actually just like drinking straight espresso or an Americano. But I really have found myself enjoying pouring latte art or trying it. Probably
yeah, I think it's
just addictive.
I think it's good fun. I just it takes a lot, and I think when you think you've got it, you'll go through a couple of days and you're like, oh no, just stuffing it up every time. I just saw Ben just commented on there asking me to do a swan. I'm just thinking I was going to do something really simple where I couldn't stuff up, but now he's asked me to do a swan, which I've definitely not mastered just yet, so that's a little bit of pressure just there. But
I've seen some of them. They're pretty good. I still think you should lean into the duck look. But
yeah, we'll see. I'll give it a shot. This morning I tried to pour one and ended up all over the counter. So I'm just finding the intricacy. I keep overfilling my cup, and so we've got to sort of work that out. I can see a couple of my friends joining in. Good as cold brew. How you doing? Coffee with Phil.
We got a ton in here, man. We got 9, 10 people. Coffee Morgan, what's up? We appreciate you viewing, Coffee Morgan. Anyways, so let's do some little points here on this Gaggia Classic Pro versus the Rancilio Silvia, and that's the newest model, right? With the one.
Yeah, so I've got this one. I'm gonna have to lean down into this little square picture, but I've got this one pretty recently, the V6. I think it's their newest one. I'm not sure if they've released anything else since, but
they have the Pro, but the Pro is way more expensive. It's $1,600, and that's $750-ish.
Hey Colbert, how you doing? So this one here is $5.29 in pounds. Not sure about American dollars, but the Pro is a double boiler. It has a longer steam wand. I'm not sure if it has more clearance, but it definitely does seem like a bigger machine overall. I think you probably do get what you pay for. I think, looking at this, and some people will see a bit later when we do a little bit of a latte off, or what we're hoping to do, Joey, that the single boiler definitely holds you back when it comes to speed. So I think for me, it will be, waiting a good 45 seconds or so for this to heat up before I can start steaming my milk. Whereas I think on your Gaggia, it's got a smaller steam capacity, which means it heats up a bit quicker.
So let's just touch on that. So yours has a 12-ounce brass boiler, right? And and it's a 952 watt. And then mine has a 3.5 ounce, which is, I didn't even realize that until we started looking together. We were chatting a lot before this, by the way.
Yeah.
But 3.5 ounces is tiny.
This cup, I think this is 5 ounce. Right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
This boiler must be my boiler is literally this big. This is a 2.5 ounce cup, maybe 3.
I guess and whereas 12 ounce is as closer to my milk pitcher. This is 12 ounces. So, or it's about 600 mils for anyone in the UK or Australia. And 5 ounces, or you've got 3.5 ounces, but a 5 ounce is only 150 mils. So just going by my cups and jugs.
I mean, it's so small. So, but with that tininess, mine's a lot more wattage, 1370 watts. So kind of interesting how they differ there. I'm guessing when we're going to do a latte, we're gonna, like, do a test on the speed. We've kind of guessed that mine's going to be faster, but it's probably going to be, if I was guessing, yours is going to be faster to go do 2, right? Like that's
so I do 2 every morning for me and my wife, 1 on oat milk and 1 on regular milk, and the steam lasts easily through doing both of those drinks.
So you pull 2 shots and then do your steam?
Well, I vary it. Sometimes I've done that when I've got like a friend over and I want to serve the drinks at the same time, but then you do run the risk of the shots getting a bit old that way. So when I do it for the wife, I'll do a shot, the steam, give her a drink, and then go again, because that way the shots are as fresh as possible. But I wonder with yours, just being such a small steam boiler, it might be interesting to find out if the idea is high wattage, small steam boiler. They just sort of heat and steam it continuously to keep
like
and retain that.
Heat exchanger. Or
Exactly.
Like a faux heat exchanger. Yeah, exactly. Maybe sort of. I will say that on mine, I have noticed, and so now we could jump into the steam wands, right? Let me turn my camera around if I can. But my steam wand here, this has got a little bit of coffee on. It doesn't look pretty. Anyways, so my steam wand here is a 2-hole steam wand. You probably can't see that in there, but it also it loses pressure after probably 20 seconds. It generally only takes me about 30 seconds to steam, but when I use this, I lose a lot of pressure after 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's noticeably weak. Like, I think that boiler size comes into play. My guess is your boiler, because it's so big, you probably don't have any issue like that, right?
The pressure of this thing blew me out of the water when I moved from my last machine, which, let's be honest, my last machine was nothing to write home to mum about. If anyone looks back on my feed, I was on a Dedica that was modded. It was no good. But you've touched on yours is a dual hole steam wand. Mine's single hole. So I think those kinds of decisions are also really important when it comes to steam pressure, because 2 holes often can reduce the amount of pressure, and therefore you can sort of struggle to get that motion moving.
Mentioning that, I've seen people actually replace the tip on this to a 1-hole. And actually, I've noticed too, for me, I'm used to that Breville doing with a single hole. It's a lot less pressure, but it's still a single hole. It's a little bit easier to direct your milk. So like getting that swirling action for me is a little bit easier. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think it really depends. I just saw Ben just shouting out Lance. I've watched those milk steaming videos. They're so good. Yeah, really good
actually,
content.
And the thing too, Ben, this, because of the steam wand, and I'm going to bring it in closer here again, but like, because of the steam wand only being able to go side to side, it's actually kind of hard to get the right angle, because you don't really get a true like 45 degree, or sort of like 20 degree or so.
Yeah. This camera up.
Yeah, so it is a little limiting. And I think yours is also I believe it's dual walled, so it doesn't take on as easily.
Yeah. When you say dual walled, what did you mean by that? Was that to do
like
with
the steam wand itself doesn't. Yeah, like basically there's 2 layers of metal in between air, you have less likelihood of it like getting caked on there. I'm guessing like when you like go to clean it, it all comes off pretty easy, right?
Yeah, it does. I don't think it's an insulated one where it doesn't have like an inner tube and then metal, so it does still get quite hot, but I wouldn't say it gets super hot. I'm not too sure. I don't know. That could also be a pro feature. Maybe it's this dual walled.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, but no, definitely. I think it's really good, and it does have the sort of, I'm trying to manage this tripod vibes. It does have the ball joint, so as you mentioned, you can really move this to whatever angle I want.
Yeah, that's huge.
Which is really helpful.
Yeah, another thing that I kind of actually like. That's why when I did my comparison with the Breville, I actually gave it a slightly higher score at the end of the day.
Yep.
But
Yep.
that's one of the reasons too, because it is actually it's more limiting than I thought originally going into it.
Yeah. We've got Princess on there. Hello. Long time. Good to see you.
She's awesome. It's always fun to have her giving us some pointers and stuff like that. Anyways, so the other thing too, I've mentioned it before in other videos, but this is a 9-bar machine. The Gaggia Classic Pro is not, or 11 bars rather.
Yeah.
Yours is a 9-bar. So for people that want to do like, standard espresso and they don't want to use that pressurized basket, this comes with a pressurized basket. Toss it out. Like, you bought this machine, so like maybe make real espresso with it.
Yeah, no, it's a very capable machine, and I think you shouldn't be using the pressurized. We've got a couple comments in here as well. I don't know if we want to.
Yeah, what
Coffee
grinder
with Will. We've got one from the Starts Coffee with us asking what pattern we go to recently. What are you feeling, Joey?
Which one? What? Say that again.
He's asked just a little bit up. Coffee with Will. He's asked what pattern is your go-to recently for latte art. I think he means.
Oh.
So you're trying the heart at the moment, right? That's
I've been doing hearts. That's been like kind of my go-to pattern, just because I'm not great yet. I'm not like super good, It's like every time I go to pour, I have like anxiety,
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely valid because the heart is the base to most designs. You need to sort of get that basic going on. You need to work out your milk texture before you move on too far. So if anyone else is out there, one thing I made a mistake with at the start was just jumping straight into tulips because I thought they looked nice, but I didn't really understand how to make a heart. And if you want to do a really good tulip, you have to understand that really quick to make lots of little hearts to be able to stack them.
Basically it's a bunch of mini hearts.
To answer your question for me, Will, I guess my comfort zone at the moment is a winged tulip, so just whacking a little bit of ripple on the bottom and then just a couple of tulips, but I am currently trying to learn a swan, and maybe I'll give that a shot when we go here, but it might end up failing completely.
I've been trying to learn recently the
wiggling.
Yeah. So that's sort of what I'm working on now, and then pulling through. I don't know what you actually call that, but
I think we
there's
just call
so
it
many
wiggling.
different variations of it.
Yeah, wiggling or rippling. I think that's all fine.
Yeah. But somebody else asked us what coffee grinders we were using. Right now, I'm sad to say that I'm just using the Breville grinder, but I actually just ordered a 270WI by Baratza. And yeah, that thing's baller, that Eureka.
Yeah.
So I am really excited to get my 270WI. I will do an unboxing on Instagram, and I'll do a full review on YouTube as well for people that want to take a look at that. But I have high hopes.
Yeah, no, the Baratza, that'll be really nice. I think it's a great machine.
Yeah, I like the grind by weight.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the only thing I'm kind of liking on this. I got the special leader, and it's a grind by time, but I single dose, so it became redundant pretty quickly at the time. So I've just set it on to 20 seconds, but realistically, that's irrelevant for me. But the machine itself is incredible. I got a single dosing hopper off Etsy, 3D Domco, if anyone cares, and it's really, really good. It looks really nice anyway. It doesn't actually improve the single dosing in any way. I've not got you can get people that get the bellows to really push the coffee through. I've not bothered with that, but
yeah. So the other thing too, going back to the comparison a little bit, look and feel wise, like what do you which one do you like the look of more? I'll tell you mine after, but
sure. I think for me, I'm just going to get this down there a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's pull this out of the tripod for this. I personally love the Silvia. I do. It took me a while. It's very mechanical looking, right? I will say that, I've put kitchen mat stuff on top of this. So normally it looks a bit more like that. But as you can see, it sort of makes it a little bit nicer when I just cover that up. It also stops me getting scratches and stuff on the top. Makes it a bit more uniform, but I quite like it. It does have a really industrial look. But I guess also quality wise, I've not actually felt a Gaggia, but from what I've seen, like things like portafilter handles are a little bit cheaper feeling. And yeah, I'm not sure about the rest of it, but it looks to me quite plasticky. I don't know, how's your drip tray on the Gaggia? Is it lots of plastic or is it sort of a bit
No,
firmer?
so yeah, I'll pull it out actually. I just emptied it, so there shouldn't be much in it. So this is plastic on the side, but you don't really see the plastic that much. The
Okay.
top is metal, so it's really not too bad. I mean,
So
mine is. I mean, that looks like it was. Yeah, that looks like it was designed like for catering almost. Like
yeah,
it's like
it's nice.
Right
It's not the largest in quantity, but I'm so OCD that I change it, wipe it, clean it every day. So
well,
I keep it quite nice.
That goes to the height though. I mean,
Yeah.
look, this is my espresso cup. Look at how much space it has.
Yeah.
You have an espresso cup? I'm interested to see like how much more space you have. Because I have to think that you have a lot. Yeah, look at that. And yours is taller than mine, I think. Just looking at it on the camera there.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, you got another.
It definitely does have a bit
like,
more
inch,
clearance.
maybe
Yeah.
inch and a half, maybe.
Well, the beauty is, so I use the Time More Black Mirror scales, and I sort of sit them onto the end there, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And when I whack, I can get like this under there slightly. It still is, I will say, there's not a huge amount of clearance, but it can get under there pretty well. And these, I wouldn't say that they're the thinnest of scales.
I'm going to show mine. Look at this is not a thin scale by any means. This is the Libre Cafe scale, but I mean, look at that.
Yeah, you just can't get it.
It's not even close.
I hear a lot of people with those machines actually just take the drip tray out. I think the one thing I will mention that's a benefit on the Gaggia, I think, or maybe I'm wrong, where does the solenoid go down into? Is that into the drip tray itself, or is there another thing underneath to catch the water?
It goes right into the drip tray.
So if you take that grill out, does the water still get caught somewhere?
If I take this whole thing out?
Yeah, is there still somewhere for it to go, or is the actually?
No, it's going to go right through.
It's going straight through. Yeah.
But I've heard actually Lifestyle Labs, who were actually giving this machine away with, if people are interested in that giveaway. But that he does this. He'll put an espresso cup down there, and then you have way more clearance.
That's a really good way to do it.
Yeah, if you're in a pinch and that's like the only option you have, if you're just learning or whatever. At this point, I can get pretty close volumetrically, and I don't think that's the worst way of doing it. But
I think as long as you take it out, put it on a scale at the end, and get a bit of an indication for how you did go when you came to your timing and your weight, then you can sort of have an idea of whether you're doing well or not with your extraction times to volume and things like that. But you probably, if you are landing on that sort of between that 20 to 30 second range, somewhere in there, it's not going well over and it's not coming way too early, then you're probably going to have a fine and very serviceable shot for most people.
Yeah. Ben asked, actually, let's get East in there. Eureka Mignon manual grinder. I don't know anything about that. I know you have a Eureka, so.
I've got a Eureka Mignon Specialista. I've never used the manual, so I'm not sure whether it is just as good or not. I'm actually planning next month to buy a bottomless portafilter so I can start to see the extractions I'm getting with my Specialista, but I've not yet tried it.
That answers Ben's question as well. Ben, yeah, and for me, to answer that question for you, I have a bottomless portafilter for my Breville. I don't have one for the Gaggia, but I'm a little reluctant to buy one for the Gaggia because I don't know if I'm going to keep this machine long term. I'm actually going to be asking my viewers and everything to give me some recommendations on machines that you want me to compare to the Gaggia, and maybe we'll keep that one. So. And the reason why, too, the Gaggia is very odd in that if I buy a bottomless portafilter for this, I don't know if you can see that, but, like, they're off-centered. You see how, like, the ears are
the spouts, it's for when you turn it in, then they're straight once it's tired, right?
Yeah, so, it's weird because if I were to buy one, I'd have to buy a bottomless for this. This is kind of gross, too, on the bottom.
Oh, you mean the ears are off-centered? Yeah, so I guess I'd assume many machines, actually, so it's a bit... I assume many machines kind of have a different sort of thing, because these is like straight onto the sides, right?
Well, that's the more standard. Yours is significantly more standard, and that's why I don't want to buy one for this, because, like I said, I don't know if this is going to be my permanent mainstay machine.
Yep.
And I would prefer something that's more, hey, Cassie, what's going on there? Bottomless portafilters help a lot with ensuring any even tamp. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
They
I
help
find with mine,
bit.
I'm finding a lot of the time a lot more espresso comes out from the right-hand side of the spout than the left, which makes me think that either my machine's not level or my distribution and tamp isn't consistent. So it'd be really nice to sort of see if I'm getting any channeling or different things like that, but it's really hard to tell when I've got spouted portafilter. But I am planning on getting it.
It's very hard to tell what's going on in your extraction.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't have a bottomless.
Exactly.
It's a must-have. I think that you can probably pull reasonably good shots without it, but
yeah, it's more about diagnosing, and it's really for people that really want to get involved and really want to make sure that their extractions are spot on. I think if you just want to pull a serviceable shot and have a nice drink in the morning, it's not something you need. It's more something that you want. But yeah, if you really want to get that, as we call it, hashtag coffee porn, then that's where a bottomless portafilter is really helpful.
Yeah, basically anything that Milk Scribbler puts out is what I would call hashtag coffee porn.
Yeah, or coffee article is also amazing.
Yeah. All right, I've had the same problem with the Breville, more coffee out of the right spout. Yeah, actually, I have the exact same problem. Yeah. And to be honest, the Breville, I think there's multiple issues going on with the Breville. It's a higher bar, kind of like this, which makes it a little bit more difficult. It kind of, it makes channeling a lot more common because it's pushing so much more pressure. And then the other thing is, on the Breville is the shower screen I think is very uneven. So like when I put water through this, I noticed that the water is coming through very evenly on throughout the whole thing, whereas on the Breville it doesn't really seem to get a real even
flow. One thing I've also noticed is that when I'm cleaning my basket afterwards, this is very hot, so just mind me, but oftentimes underneath the basket, one side will have a lot more coffee build up over it before I clean it. So that leads me to think that a lot more coffee liquid is actually coming out that side from the basket, and it's not necessarily something in the spout. It's actually something in the puck or the basket. So that's just, I'm not 100% sure if that is the case, but there's little things like that. If you look at your basket and if you look at your puck, you can look for channels and things like that in that regard.
So Easton asks over here, do you think buying a used one-time owner Rancilio Silvia Classic is a good idea? If so, what is the best grinder to pair with it? The grinder thing you could go crazy with. I think I wouldn't go anything below a Breville Smart Grinder, but you can go as high as what or higher than even what you have, that Eureka Specialita.
Yeah.
As far as buying used, personally, these things hold their value so much that I don't really recommend buying used, at least not on eBay or something like that. I mean, if you could find a good deal, go for it, but mostly I would say, spend the extra $100 or so.
Yeah, I would say definitely worth having a look at James Hoffman's YouTube video. He actually did, he wanted to find the most budget video. He did end up with a Gaggia Classic, yeah. But what he noticed was it was missing, I think the three-way solenoid was missing or something, or there was a bunch of things in it that weren't even part of that machine that he got. So be very careful. I think if you're going to buy secondhand, make sure you know what you're talking about, and also make sure you know what you're looking for, because you might end up paying more for less.
Exactly.
So just need to be careful. And then
you have to worry about the thing too is most of the machines people are selling are not these newer models. You're buying an older model, and the functionality, especially on the Gaggia. The Gaggia, if you buy a previous model, you're getting a Panarello. You're not getting a traditional steam one. So
yeah, exactly.
You definitely
which is what he did get, I think, and he replaced it or something along those lines. I think he was just pulling espresso for the video. I can't quite remember, but
but his did have the older one for sure.
Yeah. Just for PPP Aria happened. I noticed happening after I cleaned my shower screen. Did I screw it up? Not quite sure. Usually cleaning the shower screen is probably a good thing, but I would also just check that your machine is level. Put your phone on top, make sure that it's leveled. If your machine's not level and you've got a spout, it's going to go out towards one side of that spout, right? So it could be something as simple as that's worth checking as well.
Yeah, the plastic piece, I think it's more like a rubber-ish piece, rubber or silicone. I think Whole Latte Love actually recommends replacing them with silicone pieces if yours is rubber. But yeah, obviously take a look at it every once in a while. Sometimes I'll unscrew the shower screen to clean both sides of it because sometimes coffee gets to the other part of it.
Yeah, you can. So you've got the insulated ring that's inside the group head, which you want to replace. I think they say generally every 12 months or so. You don't have to
Yeah,
do it all the time.
roughly 1
Um,
year. If you get
yeah,
the ones, I think it's every 2 years or something like that.
yeah,
It depends on use too.
yeah.
That has a big difference. But hey, I say let's start the timer, man.
All right,
So
let's see how
what
we
I'll
go.
say is instead of I have the timer back here. Let's grind and tamp, and then when we're ready to pull our shots, we could do that, and we'll have a little bit of fun. So I'm gonna pull this back a little bit. Hopefully, we get more viewing space here.
It's coming up.
So let's do it.
All right, so you're saying have the pucks prepared first, and then we'll go.
Yeah, that way we don't have to worry about which grinder's because clearly your grinder's better than mine. I'm using a better grinder.
Maybe better, but it might not be necessarily faster. Just for everyone, I'm using Django's number 3 blend. Really good if you're in the UK and you can get your hand on this. It's really, really good. Tasty blend. Going for a 20-gram shot.
Right now, I'm just using some Lavazza Super Crema. I didn't want to buy anything crazy expensive for doing all my milk steaming and wasting coffee.
Yeah, all the practice. Yeah, no, for sure. How many grams are you going for, Joey?
I'm going for I have this Breville. I'm just using the Breville, so it gets within about 0.5. I've noticed with the grinder that I have built in there. So I'm doing somewhere between 18.5 and 19 grams.
Nice. And are you pulling a double shot or a ristretto, or how do you want to go for this?
I'm gonna do just basically a standard Doppio double shot. So I'm gonna do wrong tamper. So I'm gonna do probably something like 28 seconds out is what I've been getting, and it's 40 grams in the actual cup.
Nice. I'm going to go for a ristretto, which means I've got my coffee grinded a little bit finer, and I'll be pulling, I'm hoping, around somewhere in that 20 to 25 range for roughly 20 grams out. It's what regular people feel during sports events. I'm so excited. Nice. Love it.
All right, so let me get my milk here.
Just going to let you guys have a bit of a watch while I grind. Let me just bring this around.
This is going to be fun. I'm anxious to do this.
Yeah, actually, I can't even get the camera to go down.
This is what regular people feel during sporting events. I'm so excited. Oh, good.
Let's pull this around.
Is this the Super Bowl for other people, for us weird coffee nerds?
All right, I'm going to grind this one.
What's the Australian version of the Super Bowl? Do you guys watch the Super Bowl?
I have to maybe. Can you hear me over the grinder?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, beautiful. It'll probably have to be the AFL Grand Final, I'd assume. AFL being Aussie rules.
What is AFL? Is that
so it's like
rugby?
No, we do play a bit of rugby, but it's called Australian Football League, and essentially, let me just get this back up.
Look at that. That's a nice kitchen you got there, bud.
I don't know. It's a rental.
Beautiful.
It's not. Yeah. So Australian Football League. It's sort of like rugby, but a little bit different. You have to look it up. Okay, we got a good view there.
Interesting. All right. So tell me. So mine's stamped and ready to go.
So I'm going to WDT first. I like to just break up any clumping. Give it a little bit of a shake to make sure that it doesn't have any forced channels from that. And then I just tap this in. And then because I use a funnel, I like to just use my hand to sort of tap it over the edges so that it evens that back out.
Look at people jumping in. Hello, Linda. Yeah. We are doing a race right now, by the way, for folks that are just jumping in. I saw a bunch of people just jump in. So we're doing a race to see which one makes a latte a little bit faster. This has been a kind of a comparison, a live comparison of the Silvia and the Gaggia. So it's been pretty fun.
For doing a race, except I'm OCD, so I take too long to make my pucks.
No, you're fine. Like I said, it doesn't really matter how long it takes you to do that, because that's all like, personal preference and stuff like that.
All right, so we going. Are you actually going to time it? Okay, nice.
Oh, I got a timer.
Have you already got your portafilter in, or?
Portafilter's in. I got everything ready. All I got to do is hit the time. I'll hit the start button when I do this. You tell me when you're ready.
All right. I'm not good under pressure. I think last time we did a latte art pour under pressure, I completely stuffed it up.
Shots quickly.
All right, ready?
Gotcha. Okay, thanks. Yeah, that looks cheaper.
And go.
Go. I'm gonna pour my milk too, so we're ready. I'm gonna stop it at about 20. You want to stop at about 28 seconds? Want me to tell you when to stop?
I've got a timer on my
cool.
thing, so I'm actually pretty good, I think, once I get there. It's running a little bit faster than I'd want, but it's landed on about 20 seconds, so that'll be okay. Looks really nice, though. I've got to remember we're in a race, so I'll get my steamer on. Just reduce a bit of the water so that the steam can expand. All right, let's see. I know that Ben on there is going to want to see the shot. Let's just get that in here.
Yeah, let's see if we can get. I'm going to bring this up a little closer. That way people can see the timer.
I don't know if I got that in there, if anyone saw it, but it turned out quite nicely. I've got my milk pre-cooled in the fridge because I want it to be nice and cold.
Come on, Steam One, get ready.
Mine's taking forever, so I wouldn't stress too much. Oh, no, he's still going.
Mine typically takes about 30 seconds, so it could any
second. Mine's pretty quick-ish normally, but I also waste a bit of steam to preheat my jug. So I already know I'm going to be last after you, so I'm not stressing too much. Some people do start steaming a little bit early as well when the light's not actually gone off, but I do prefer just to wait to make sure it's right up to temp. You're going to be well ahead of me, Joey.
Wait, say what?
You're well ahead of me.
All right.
All right, just for the race, I'm going to start early before the thing's actually fully heated up, but it seems pretty close. Oh, no, here we go.
So I got done in about 2 minutes. Let's see if I can pour art live. All right, folks. This is not going to go well. Maybe it will. Who knows? Oh, kind of well. It went all right. Look at that. A little bit off kilter on the heart, folks. All right, but not half bad. Not half bad. Look at that. Look, it looks not bad. Come on.
Pressure's definitely got to me, and I didn't do too well on my milk, but that's all right.
Yeah, I didn't either, but it worked all right. It latte. Does it latte?
It should be all right, I reckon. Not the most stable milk, but it might be okay. Okay.
Milk Scribbler, are you proud of me? Please say you're proud of me.
Now, let's see.
He says nice heart, thank you.
There we go. Hopefully I don't leave my milk to sit for too long.
So it looks like yours hit, like, what, 3 minutes roughly? Seems like.
Yeah, I did. Hang on, let me just do this.
While I'm cleaning my steam arm, people can look at my heart. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that proud of it. Thank you. Thank you for being proud of me, Milk Scribbler.
I mean, I'm just going to say that could be the best swan I've ever done.
No. Is it really live?
I mean, the neck actually works.
Oh, that looks pretty good.
Let's just see how this goes.
Everybody,
I'm not going to lie.
Here.
There's whoever it was that gave me the pressure. It may have helped. Let's just.
If it wasn't 1:25 a.m. here in
Look at that.
With you.
Might have taken me too long.
Wow, dude, that looks pretty
I'm pretty
sweet.
happy with that. That's not
impressive.
bad for on a camera. So.
You should take some, before you take a sip of that, maybe get a picture. I think he literally left to take a picture. Well, folks, if we don't get Justin back, we might. I don't know what's going to happen there. But we did the timer, and I think mine was roughly 2 minutes. I'm going to repost this out actually on YouTube so people can watch it along with me. And I will post the exact times from when everybody started to finish. So, yeah. Is it letting me join? No, let me see. Let me see if I can get you back in here. Yeah, I can't. Looks like you might be able to jump back in, Justin. Everyone's giving you round. Oh, there you go. Did you take that picture? Is that what happened, bud?
I touched the little... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I touched the little swipe up bit on my phone and it just all closed. That was... Ugh.
It's alright, man. It's
you couldn't script it. You couldn't script it. Sorry, I completely... Where are we at?
This is it. This is it. We're live, bro. Like, it's not scripted. This is what we're doing. But yeah, man. So it looks like we got pretty close. Look at that first sip. Oh.
I'm honestly pretty impressed with this Swan, so I'm really enjoying this moment.
You were a clutch shooter just now.
I can't believe it. Usually the pressure just gets to me, but I was like, actually, you know what? Pretty much, that's the best I've done.
Diamond hands. Yeah, man, that was impressive. Yeah, so I think you hit like 3 minutes roughly. So yours takes, it seems like maybe a minute to actually...
Yeah, it's probably about 45 seconds to a minute. It does heat up quicker if I don't take any air out as it's heating, but I like to preheat my pouring jug and things like that, so that takes a little bit of the steam out as it's heating. Internet issues, yeah, we can blame the internet issues. It did take a while to join back in.
Well, yeah, for whatever reason, I had to send you a request. Sweet Swan. Wow.
Oh, that's a big compliment. I'm really, really excited about that.
Yeah. No, I think that was amazing. I mean, I'm always impressed when you could do anything. Like, you saw how impressed I was with myself for getting a crappy heart.
I mean, I could not get a heart like that 3 months ago. So honestly, and also we've got to note you're using oat milk, right?
No, that I did for this one. I did do vitamin D whole milk. Okay.
Oh, nice. Because when I try oat milk, I have absolutely no chance.
Oat milk, I've noticed. I'm gonna do like I said, I'm gonna do that milk tutorial. But I've noticed that the oat milk, you definitely have to be more aggressive. Lance mentions that, but you also have to. For me, I've noticed, at least on the Breville, you have to go a little bit longer than you normally would.
Yeah.
With trying to with frothing, and then start a little bit later. The other thing too with oat milk is it doesn't hold. So like, take a look at this. This is a little bit bubbly, but like there's not a lot of big bubbles.
Yeah.
With oat milk, like if you let it sit for like a minute, that thing just turns into like, I don't know, airy bubbles.
And it really also comes down to the way you incorporate the milk as well, and it's definitely harder on those milks. But even pouring this one here, I didn't froth the milk very well, so the milk didn't get much time in the vortex, much time to incorporate. So even though the texture came out okay for pouring, it's already sort of starting to lose its consistency. So that's why I think there's so many levels to milk texturing. You can have milk that looks fine in the jug, but then it won't stand. It won't stay for a while. Then other milk, I could leave it in the living room for 20 minutes, come back, and it's still got no big bubbles.
Yeah. Milk Scribbler says, yes, oat milk be more violent. Make sure the vortex is always there because it really needs... Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And that, actually, like I was mentioning before, for whatever reason, on the Gaggia, I can't keep the vortex nearly as nicely as I can with my Breville Barista Express.
How do you go with the angle of the jug? Because I find sometimes if my vortex is getting too big, I reduce sort of how much of an... Because usually if I'm holding my jug, it's like... I don't know if we can see. So if I hold my jug,
what you're saying
this
here.
is a big one. So normally when I've got it, I tilt it just slightly, not much, but just slightly so that the wand is off to one side, right? And that starts the vortex. So sometimes if I've got too much vortex, I'll reduce how much I've tilted it just slightly. But I'm wondering if you're struggling to build a vortex, maybe tilt it a bit more.
I might do that. I might try tilting it because I've always on the Breville, I do less move on the Breville. I do less movement with the actual jug, and I do most of the movement with my steam wand because it's on that axis. I can move it a little bit.
Yeah. So I actually have my steam wand. I always pull it out to the same place. So it almost could just be the Gaggia. I always pull it out to just straight out as far as it comes up. And all my movement is always with the jug, not with the wand. So the wand automatically comes out at about a 45-degree angle in the Silvia. And I just never change that. And all I do is adjust how I've got the jug situated in there.
I think that's part of it is that mine doesn't really have a good... It's the Gaggia, it's quicker in the Gaggia, right? Linda, I don't know what you mean by which one's quicker. As far as like who won the race, technically the Gaggia was faster,
Yeah,
like I've said before, though. So I never said which one I like the look of more, but I actually like the look of the Silvia more. I think that may have been obvious, but the Gaggia is okay, but I don't know.
Yeah,
there's something also about
it. El Richer, the way you say Barista Express has more time to adjust, that's definitely true. Because there's less pressure, it does take longer to heat up the milk. I don't know if you noticed, but once I got to steaming my milk, it was really quick. It doesn't take me very long at all on the Silvia because there's a lot of pressure. So I think that's the key with the Express is you do get a bit longer to adjust. So it can actually be easier to froth on those machines just because you've got more time to get situated. For me, if I've not got my wand in the perfect depth and then I turn it on, or like in this case, as an example, just lots of big bubbles straight up to the top, and I've got to try and get those incorporated, and I'm still getting used to that.
I think the Breville Barista Express, they shouldn't have named it that. They should have named it the Breville Barista Beginner because it's really good for beginners and it does not make lattes expressly. It's very slow.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a question on the puck press. I've not tried it. I've seen it in a lot of cafes. My understanding is that the puck press is really good for cafes because it can allow consistency in the amount of tamping pressure that each individual barista is using. But for me individually, when I use it for my cups, I don't use a puck press. I've got actually a lightning tamper from Motta, and I actually love it because every time I just tamp down, basically press the same amount. It's very consistent. And if you look at how much a puck press is compared to one of these, for home use, unless you're getting gifted a puck press, I probably would be shying away because those things are pretty pricey.
Yeah, it's like more than an espresso meter. That's more money than the Gaggia Classic Pro.
I think there's something like £700 or something just for the puck press. And, you literally, all you're doing is, it's a machine that tamps for you. Most people are not going to need it. If you really want a puck
press, I would say just buy one of those Oracle machines, the Breville Oracle, because that has a puck press built into it. And it's expensive. I think the machines are they're $1,500, but if you're going to spend, probably around $1,000 US for a puck press, I guess just buy that machine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think, you'll see them in a lot of cafes, but at home I wouldn't worry about that kind of kit. All those who have arthritis, if that could be helpful, definitely.
Yeah.
If you can't actually do the hair tamping yourself. Although, worth noting, tamping is something that we think we have to do. Keep in mind that a lot of people actually use something like a distribution tool, which doesn't involve any pressing.
I do
you
just twist this. I do this all the time. There's times where I just need this. I don't need to use the tamping side.
Exactly. So you can experiment with that. Sometimes I find that if I just use the distribution tool, it doesn't, the coffee goes through too quickly because it doesn't create enough compaction. But, you can experiment with that. When I was on my last machine, I had a bottomless portafilter and I actually get the best looking extraction anyway, the most even extraction just with this. But absolutely milk scribbler, calibrated tamper. Is the way. I think a calibrated tamper or using one of these palm tampers that will forcefully only allow it to go down to a certain amount.
Yeah, that's what
is how you can be consistent. I had it calibrated on the last one. That was really good as well.
Calibrated are cool. I like the idea of it calibrated, but at the same time, it sort of does the same exact thing as like what you said, having a palm tamper that like stops at a certain amount.
Yeah, they're very, very similar. A calibrated tamper is based on the pressure on the puck, whereas this is based on depth. So this will make sure I can only go this deep, whereas a calibrated tamper is only like X amount of pressure, which is programmed to it. So it depends on what you're looking for. But I just find for simplicity, I found having the matching motor, distributor, and tamper has been a really good experience.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, hey, I think we've probably covered a lot of stuff, actually, and this was really fun. But I don't want to take too much of your time, and I know that we got a busy schedule, so...
Yeah, no, it was really great, and I was really excited to see so many people jump on. Milk Scribbler, we got Ben, I recognise. I think we had Jason jump on earlier. I've had a bunch of people that I recognise.
Yeah, Linda.
So it's really exciting.
Yeah, we had tons of people. It was really, really fun. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you. Hopefully, we can jump on again soon and do some more live streams. It's always fun to have a good conversationalist like yourself on.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone.
Yeah, see you guys.